In August of 2023, I got in a bet that I could guess any woman's celebrity crush. And believe it or not, I lost. You know, I thought my culprit would say our glorious king, Wardell Stephen Curry II. But instead, she said the sugar daddy of Hollywood himself. Leonardo DiCaprio. Flourishing acting career, body count of 9,128, and infamously questionable obsession with models under the age of 25. But regardless of that, it seems as if nothing bad could ever happen to him. Until one day, one woman, actress Blake Lively, did the unthinkable. By ghosting him for Ryan Reynolds. Yet, despite my celebrity bias, I can sympathize because, like Leo, I've been ghosted. Chances are you've been ghosted, and ironically, we've all ghosted someone as well. My intro was all fun and games, but you know what isn't? The heartless practice of not responding, which has deceitfully become accepted into our everyday lives. Whether that's on text, Instagram DMs, calls, or even in real life. Like what? Waving at someone but they didn't see, even after you made eye contact with them? Saying hi to someone but they pretend they didn't hear? Because even though ghosting has become accepted as routine, Chiara Wilkinson of Vogue points out something insightful, that it doesn't make it any less painful, debilitating, or embarrassing when it happens to you. So today, let's first take off the Halloween mask to examine the reason and encouragement to ghost. Then, we'll analyze the complex implications of doing so before finally channeling our inner Ghostbusters as we seek a solution once and for all. Quick disclaimer. There are plenty of valid reasons, which I'm sure you recognize. Spam, intimidation, just to name a few, when ghosting is encouraged. And ghosting usually is unintentional, be it losing Wi-Fi, your sister coming in your room, setting off 5 fire alarms. Normal day, the list goes on. But ghosting as an excuse, ghosting to merely ignore someone, is what needs to be addressed. In a world that recognizes this habit as perfectly appropriate, this habit grants us the permission to vanish completely and discreetly, time and time again. I mean, really, all you gotta do is take your phone, press that button, turn it off. Wow, it's too easy. On top of that, most ghosties don't confront. I mean, how many Kim Kardashians do you know who will ugly cry at your door demanding an explanation? Or just regular people who will text you back and ask you why you ghosted. See, once it's clear that there are no imminent consequences or confrontation, it's understandably easy to pull a Houdini. Not Dua Lipa's song, but this coming and going. Because with every text left unresponded, adds a counter to that ghosting habit. A +1 to the skill of not only not knowing how to end a conversation, but conflict resolution as well. To establish a pattern of running away to the point where it becomes habitual, as autonomous of a movement as breathing. It's what Professor Royette T. Dubar summarizes as, well, a lack of communication skills. It's what I like to think of as a tendency to perpetrate the avoidance of a difficult conversation, even if only mildly, by poofing out of existence. By poofing out of existence. Wiring, shaping, twisting our initial respect into self-neglect, because it's not just the ghostees that get hurt, but the ghosters deny themselves basic respect and self-honesty as well. And that's the issue. That's the concern. That's what society has taught us, blithely skipping out on the responsibility to lend context to our actions, not only justifying ghosting as a legitimate way to handle people's feelings, but creating a world where whenever we run into a difficult, uncomfortable situation, their voices tell us it's okay. Disappear. Ghost. You don't have to solve the problem. Just ignore it. It's what writer Sabrina Sorja of The Medium calls a magic shield handed to us whenever there is conflict. Because if you think about it, the more that we use this shield, the harder it is to nurture the connection and intimacy we so counterintuitively tried to maximize in the first place. You know, I have no doubt that this topic comes with some resistance. What if someone says, "It's my life. I ghost because I get to choose who gets to be part of it"? Well, sure. Seen on a purely individualistic plane, that right exists. But I'd encourage you to think about this matter. Certainly, they get to choose, but a choice means there'll be an action. And it's our actions that hurt people. The privilege of having a choice does not free us from the responsibility of clearly communicating, nor the excuse for denying the courtesy of a kindly delivered explanation. And doesn't it really make sense when the New York Times analogizes a ghost to a specter, something we think is there but really isn't? And likewise, we can analogize that too, to a ghoster. Someone we think is there, someone we think can be relied upon and trust and empathize with and acknowledged by, but in reality, they're gone. See, ghosting does nothing but paint people as untrustworthy and unreliable. It's the encouragement to fail to recognize people as people, because people deserve to have their time respected. People deserve to feel worthy, and along the way, not only does it disrespect the ghosties, but the ghosters disrespect themselves as well. This is the point in the speech where, I'm supposed to share a heart story, show everyone my significant personal connection to this topic. Well, I don't have one, except for some of those individual days. Even just mistakenly ghosted, it feels horrible. Every time, it consumes time, and I can focus on nothing other than that. And you know what? I just made this entire speech sound like we can't even consider ghosting, that it's just this wretched thing that shouldn't even cross our mind. But at the same time, these thoughts can't just be condemned. The impulse to ghost is always there. It's how we respond to them that makes a world of difference. So, how do we solve this? Well, when you pick up your phone in 2 minutes, it starts. Recognizing each solution, differing scenarios, from a heart-to-heart conversation to something as simple as digitally liking a message. The next time ghosting seems like the easier choice, the only takeaway that needs to be remembered is that this choice in front of me can either hurt both me and the other, create insecurities and confusion, or it can leave both parties walking away honored. Because the only thing that needs to be remembered, that shines through as imperative, is what writer Michelle Powers reflects on. It's a constant work in progress. Parts of me will always struggle with connection, but now I choose to do the opposite of ghosting. I show up. 110 years ago, poet Robert Frost told us that the best way out is always through. Oh. That the best way out is always through. And he was right. In a world where we inherently rely on and find satisfaction in social relationships, we solve problems not by ghosting, not by disappearing, but by looking each other virtuously in the eye. Our decisions These seemingly simple acts can alter someone's day, reciprocating, making them feel seen. Because let's be honest, no one wants to lose to Ryan Reynolds. Thank you.